Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tawny, and in today's video I am really excited to share with you two of my favorite sunscreens that I recently discovered in the last few months, maybe half a year or so. And those are the ELTA MD UV Clear sunscreen line in both the untinted and the tinted versions. I've used over a bottle of each of these, and I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on the both of them and also give you guys a little bit of a comparison of the two, since one is tinted and then one is not tinted. But before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe down below so you see more beauty and skincare content like this. But without further ado, let's get into the reviews. So ELTA MD is known for having very high quality dermatologist approved sunscreens and other skincare products. And within the last year, I've really been expanding my sunscreen skincare. I have to be honest, I used to hate using sunscreen. I was one of those people who did not put on sunscreen unless I knew I was physically going to be going outside. But lately I decided it was time to up my game a little bit. I am entering my late 20s and I really want to be more vigilant about protecting my skin against the sun and the UV radiation. So I started to look into some high quality sunscreens and then stumbled across the ELTA MD UV Clear line. They are not supposed to leave any white cast, even though they are a combination of physical and chemical sunscreens in one. And both of these are meant for skin types who are prone to acne, rosacea, and hyperpigmentation. These both have a very, very similar formulation. The feel on the skin is almost identical. It glides on so easily onto the skin. I will cut away to the application of this on bare skin, fresh from my morning skincare routine. And just as a quick recap for my morning skincare routine, I cleanse my face with the CeraVe Foaming Facial Cleanser. I go ahead and moisturize with the CeraVe Moisturizing Lotion that, yes, is meant for the body, but I love it on my face. And then I treat my skin with the Stubborn Acne Benzoyl Peroxide Gel from Neutrogena. And then I go ahead and go in with my sunscreen. So I already have a few layers of skincare products on my skin before using my sunscreen, and it has absolutely no issues with pilling on the skin, which is a really big concern for me, especially when using a leave-on gel like benzoyl peroxide. I noticed in the past some other formulations of sunscreens, notably the CeraVe AM Facial Moisturizing Lotion that has SPF 30. I noticed that that one pills up really, really badly on the skin, especially on top of other products. These thankfully do not have any of that issue. They spread around so nicely on the skin. There is a little bit of streaking that happens as you are working it into the skin, but it just takes a little bit of patience, and once that is worked into the skin, you really do not see any white cast. So the main difference between these two products is that the tinted one has iron oxides to create a little bit of that tinting, and then the untinted one does not. Now, another added benefit of the tinted one with the iron oxides is that it is supposed to help protect against blue light as well, but otherwise they are extremely similar. The most notable ingredients on both of these ingredient lists are niacinamide. Niacinamide is the third ingredient on both of these products, which is so incredible, and that is actually why I think this is great for acne prone, especially oily skin types. I noticed that throughout the day with both of these, my face is a lot more mattified than if I don't use either of these products. I've used other products with mattifying ingredients in them, oil control ingredients, and for some reason at the end of the day, my skin is usually still very oily. But with both of these, it does a really, really great job of controlling the oil throughout the day without being too drying, especially when you first apply it. I do notice quite a bit of hydration when I first apply them, which is great because on top of the benzoyl peroxide gel, my skin does get pretty dried out, which is even why I actually use moisturizer before I go in with the benzoyl peroxide. But this adds just the perfect level of hydration back to the skin. It leaves my skin a little bit dewy for a bit, and I actually like that to apply makeup on top of. I feel like it helps the makeup to stick to the face really well. But like I said, throughout the day and by the end of the day, I noticed that my skin is really, really nicely mattified, which if you have struggled with oily, acne prone skin, you know how important that can be. As for the tinted versus untinted appearance wise, I will say that they are almost identical on the skin. If you use multiple layers, you might get a little bit more of a white cast with the untinted version, and then you might even notice a little bit more of a tan if you have very pale skin, for example, if you use multiple layers of the tinted version. But for the most part, on my skin type, I really don't notice any difference unless I didn't take my time rubbing it into the skin and it's left a little bit streaky. Then the streaks will be either a little bit more skin color if you use the tinted one or a little bit whiter if you use the untinted one. But I usually mitigate that issue by just making sure I completely rub it into my skin. It only takes a couple of minutes. But I'm gonna jump to a couple minutes ago before I put on face makeup so you can see the comparison of the untinted versus the tinted on bare skin. I will let you decide if you think they look the same, different. I personally cannot distinguish the two, but let me know what you guys think. Okay, so this is what my skin looks like approximately 2 hours after application. And just as a reminder, this side of my face, I use the tinted sunscreen, and then this side, I used the regular clear untinted version. To me, the two look almost indistinguishable. Both sides don't appear to have really much of any cast on them. I feel like if you were to use multiple layers of the tinted version, then you might see a little bit more of that tinting to it, but it's really not very strong. And I hope that this can show you guys that even though it is a tinted sunscreen, it really doesn't provide that much coverage. I have no other face makeup on right now aside from just some under eye concealer and some brow gel, mascara, and some lip products. So the skin on my face is just with my skincare and the sunscreen. I do still have some healing blemishes on both sides of my face, and the tinted version really does not provide coverage to make that go away completely on its own. And right now you can still see my skin is just a little bit dewy still. It feels hydrated. It doesn't feel dry, but it doesn't feel greasy either. And mind you, I do have a lot of direct light on my face right now, so that's why it might even look a little bit shinier than it would normally in regular daylight. But by the time the end of the day comes, I know from experience that both of these formulations, they do become even more mattifying, which I actually really like. Being someone with oily skin, it's the end of the day, the second half of the day, that really is problematic for my skin. When I start producing a lot more oil and I need to blot my face a lot more, I've noticed with both of these formulations, I do not have to do that. My skin is very, very nicely mattified at the end of the day, and it overall feels really comfortable on the skin. So now I obviously have some more face makeup on, but this whole video I've actually been wearing both of these items, the tinted one on the right side of my face and the untinted one on the left side of my face. And honestly, I cannot tell a difference. Let me know if you guys can. I really love the both of these, but because the tinted version does have those iron oxides in it, I do tend to gravitate towards this one, and my husband usually will gravitate towards the untinted one because even though this one doesn't look like makeup, he's a masculine guy and doesn't want to appear to have any type of makeup on his face, so he just prefers to use this one. But he has used the tinted one before, and he does know that it is essentially the same as the untinted one. You really cannot tell. Aside from the iron oxides, there are some slightly different ingredients in them. I'm not going to go into detail because I'm not a dermatologist or a chemist. I don't really know the difference between the two, but they do both have sodium hyaluronate, which is a form of hyaluronic acid. And like I said, they both feel pretty much identical on the skin. Now, as for application, does it irritate? Does it sting the skin? I will say these products do not usually irritate my skin. However, if I've noticed maybe I've gotten a little too much sun, or I'm a little bit windswept on my face, or I've just been picking at my skin when I shouldn't be, then I do experience a little bit of sensitivity. It could be from the niacinamide, it might be from another one of the ingredients on the ingredient list, so just be aware if you have extremely sensitive skin or even very dry skin, I don't necessarily think that either of these will be for you. There is another ELTA MD sunscreen line, I believe it's the UV Daily, that I've heard really great things about, and that seems to be meant a little bit more for those more normal or drier skin types. The both of these are roughly the same price. I think the untinted one is around $37, and I want to say the tinted one is around $39. So definitely not a cheap sunscreen, but like I said, it is really amazing on the skin, especially if you are someone who has been scared of using sunscreen for your entire life because you've struggled with acne and oily skin. Then I highly recommend giving these a shot. I actually look forward to putting my sunscreen on every single morning now, which I have never done up until a few months ago. So that to me is way worth the price. But let me know down below if you've tried any other ELTA MD sunscreens, if you've tried either of these. Do you agree with my opinions? I love to hear in the comments down below. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, please, please, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.